It is. Well, not the wall itself, perhaps. The construction is very traditional. There are names scratched upon some of the bricks, just there. Workers and masons, I expect, carving a little immortality for themselves. It's a fine keep, Caed. 2 centuries to its name, and abandoned for nearly as long. But the truly interesting part is in there, and I haven't had much luck in reaching the keep itself. I hoped to find the master of this place, a man by the name of Meerwald, but it seems that he either holds his privacy most dear, or else has been devoured by his house guests. Knowledge. Or, to be less clever about it, a certain text. I've come in search of a great treasure, you see. Not gold or silver, but the Tanvi Oratoa. You might call it the Book of Virtues. It's a sacred text of Rauatai, but we possess only a small fragment of it. A watcher? Oh, you've spoken with spirits? There are many questions I would ask if I could do the same. Excellent. Lead on, my friend, and I will be at your heels. Ah, wait. Speaking of that, I ought to warn you first. Wondrous teeth, I nearly forgot. I have, at times, been followed. It began in Adir, and in Exometal they attacked outright. I believe they do not wish for me to find what I am looking for. I say believe, but I have been told as much by one of my would-be assassins. I pay them little mind. Humorless sorts in long robes. But it's why I bought the sword, you see. And it's only fair that you should know. I'm glad you're not discouraged. Come then. Who knows what we will find inside? Following your lead. Of course.
Yeah? Got it.
Old and dry, with cobwebs in every crack. It reminds me of Woodica.
Brave thou Philothili.
Hi?
Eh?
Hey.
Eh?
Brave Dalfila.
No problem.
Brave Dalfila. Following your lead.
Yeah.
Brave Dalfila. Brave Dalfila.
Yes?
Hey. What?
Sure.
Brave Dalfila.
Leave our village! We've done nothing to you! You can't do this! This is our village, our home! The Nine Claws have lived here almost 50 generations. We were here long before your kind brought war to our lands. You can't just burn it all! Have mercy, soldier! Our warriors have all gone! You can't burn us all because of them!
Let's go!
Clearly of Adiran make. They like their archways. Brave Dalfila.
Another watcher in Caed, glowing very brightly indeed to these eyes. What strange happenstance. One could hardly mistake it. You're burning like a candle. Of course, I also know what to look for. In any case, I assume you're here looking for Maywald. Imprisoned? At times it feels that way, I suppose. But it's more that I reside here. The throne was brought up from the ruins. One of the first things they found. As a last favor to a dying woman, the Earl arranged for me to be moved into it. Audra is an accommodating vessel for a soul. Oh, it's not as confining as it seems. I can feel the whole keep from here, and all things that are tied to it. There's something about this throne and its construction. Or maybe it's something about this place. I can feel his presence faintly somewhere deeper inside the keep. But he uses his gifts to confound me, and my senses are dulled while he does so. I only wish I could know his mind. He was a great man. He came here one day, young with long hair and polished armor, and he banished the dark things that had come to lurk in this place after centuries of neglect. He could see the beauty of this place, the way it had been, so he claimed it for his own when no one else would take it. We worked together to restore it. But he began to grow distant some time ago. He never told me why. He retreated deeper and deeper into the keep, never leaving, sending servants for food, hiding himself from my sight. The restoration stopped. Now, to look at the place, you'd never know the progress we'd made. In most places, it's worse than it ever was. And all I can do is watch it crumble around me. Take care in your search. Many dangers lie in wait here.
Been out playing soldier again, have we? Go wash up and come help me shuck these peas. Soldiers are important people. They defend the weak and punish the wicked. You're too young to understand now, but there are lots of wicked people. People like the man who murdered your father. Before you were born, the Glanfathans attacked settlers like us. They said we'd knocked over some of their special Adra rocks. That's why they call it the Broken Stone War. They got very angry, and so they came into our villages and killed many people. Your father was one of them. That's why you'll be a soldier one day, to protect and to avenge. Why don't you go back out and play? I'll finish up here.
Brave Dalfilat Thili.
Mow it.
Let's go!
Brave Dalfilat.
That's it!
Let's go!
Roak 10!
New orders, Lieutenant. Ready your squad. There's been a change of plans. Take your squad and march south all the way to the bow in the river. Bring a wagon team and a dozen barrels of pitch. The instructions come from Admet Hadred himself, which means they might as well have come from the Duke. We're to burn those hut dwellers out. Set fire to the deerwood so they've nowhere to retreat. Cut them down when they come out, or let them blaze if they won't. It'll make this even shorter than the Broken Stone War, all right. And we can only hope it'll discourage future conflicts. I know this is personal for you. It is for many of us. But understand, we're doing this to end this war, not to continue the last one. Remember that we're flushing out the enemy, not burning villages for sport. Bareth will have his work cut out for him tonight.
Hey. Yes?
Yeah?
Hey. What?
Following your lead.
Eh? No problem.
We'll take those farmers by surprise. Almost time. Di and Heather scouted the village last night. They're rounding up the rest of the party now. Don't worry. Everyone remembers the raid was your idea. The Rio had to go along with it after you got the rest of the clan riled up. No one wants it said that the Nine Claws were too cowardly to stand with the rest of the tribe when the foreigners desecrated our ruins. The tribes need more leaders like you. Women who value deeds over words. You were right. We were too soft when the foreigners first came, and now they humiliate us. We'll be soft no more, and the invaders will learn to leave us alone once and for all.
This won't stop me from long.
No. Keep away from us. Maybe we should come back later?
Mayor Wald isn't here, and he isn't fooled. He has sent for no callers. Be gone, deceiving spirit! Mayor Wald will speak with you, but you will maintain your distance, or you'll have me to answer to.
Come to speak to Mayor Wald? Mayor Wald, whose touch is poison? Mayor Wald, who knows not his effect? A window to the ether, where spirits dwell. Peer and reach into it, speak and listen through it. A watcher sees souls, reads them, knows their pasts, souls of the living, souls of the dead, in empath, and the souls see them back. Used it to help beings in both realms, did I? What the gods wanted of me, thought I. The gods put me in the world for vengeance, and I obliged. It was the gods' wishes that we protect those lands. My way was the only way to remove the foreigners. Little I knew. No! No! Forgive me! Forgive me! Lost? No. Found more of it. Too much. Too much to bear. An awakening. Something reminds. Memories stirred. Memories before birth. Other bodies. Other times. Memory. Personality. Identity. Any might resurface. Or all ghosts of the mind. Meyerwald has lost control. Meyerwald's body no more. Spirits and not spirits. Always whispering to Meyerwald, reminding him of his mistakes. No sleep. Watchers see memories before them, form them from the essence of their own souls. Once Meyerwald awakened, he could not make them leave. Troubled memories, angry memories, pulling Meyerwald back, reminding him his mistakes. Marauder and soldier, soldier and marauder, how could they know? They will take you too. So fragile the Watcher's mind, so real his memories. Once awakened, how can he sleep? Fragmented are memories, stuck in time, mindless, cruel, never far. You were reminded of it. Strong memories, lingering lives, they dwell near the surface, waiting to be remembered, waiting to take your mind for their own. Meyerwald sat at his hearth and watched his fire, watched the wood burn. Then came the memory of another fire and burning wood, and screams. My fault. All my fault. Soldier and marauder, soldier and marauder and Meyerwald. No forgiveness for what's past. No undoing what's done. No sleep. No sleep for the Watcher. War there was all around. War of stone, war of tree. Death we brought to the settler men. We, the 9 claws. Claws of 9. Worse what we did to the women. For love of the gods. The gods' love. For their love. Hold her down. Head her. Give this Addy a bitch an heir that belongs in Air Glodfath. The boy. The boy. The baby boy. The boy. Conceived in the raid. Conceived by force. Vessel for marauder. Slain in the raid. Marauder and the boy. Marauder and soldier. For the soul Marauder's soul, same soul, one soul. Boy's soul, Marauder's soul, raised in lies and vengeance. Raised to soldier, raised for the fire, born for the fire.
You'll get no pity from me. The crimes of the Nine Claws clan in the last war are still unavenged. But the gods are just. They have led me here. In my father's name, every one of you will burn. Light it.
Soldier and marauder, lies and vengeance, and dead villages. All dead. All dead. What for? What for? How little we know. No. Always there. Always remembered. Can't forget. Can't unsee. Keys of lead. Books of burden. Queens that were. Known to me are they. The leaden key. Secrets, secrets, and deceptions, and schemes. Who knows their answers? Not they. Not they. Crossed them before. Hatred of watchers, hatred and fear. Much we see. Threat to secrets. Woodica, goddess, crown shattered and body burned. Binder of oaths and grudge holder, bearer of justice, but hooves. Many secrets do they keep. Unawakened? Mayhap. Who else if not they? City of Defiance, never far from the Queen. Sleep well, sleep well.
Hold! I know your will die. Your actions were seen. You would sooner betray us to the Adir land thieves than take orders from me. Your betrayal is for nothing. Your warnings are lost on these foreigners, and their blood will be Gallowayne's tribute this night. I have asked the elders for the honor of claiming your head as my first trophy, and they have granted it. Beg for the Seeker God to grant you a quick death.
Brave does. Poor Mayorwald. He couldn't contend with all that he knew of himself. A cruel fate.
I felt Mayorwald's passing. You slew him. It saddens me to hear it, but part of me is grateful to no longer have to wait and worry in darkness. This place has always known its master, long as it's had one. It has a will all its own, which has little to do with the castle and much to do with the land it's built on. It looks to you as Mayor Wald's successor now, whether you care for it or not. A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed. But in the right hands, it could be so much more. If you had only seen it in its day, will you stay?
I confess, I was hoping our meeting with Mayor Wald would go a little differently. But then, you have gained an entire keep. I don't think I've seen anyone inherit land that quickly since Caed the Younger read her father's will. It will give you a base from which to go searching at least. And then, there are secrets beneath the keep yet. With you at the helm, it should be easier to explore the endless paths.
Time to see and not be seen.
Easy, Itumak. It's not him. Short version? I'm looking for a very, very old friend. I'm not sure what skin he's wearing now, but I'll know him when I see him. That's what I heard. Of course, the man who told me so was carrying a staff he claimed was made from dragon bone, but I know Whitewood when I see it. That should have been my first clue, but I had to try something. The long version. Here we go. I'm from an island to the far south called Nasitag. I came here looking for a village elder, a man we knew as Persok. I'm a hunter back home, so tracking someone wouldn't normally be a problem. But Persok's trail is cold, to say the least. That about sums it up. Then you have my sympathies. Hopefully you've got a better lead than I do. True enough. But first I should explain about the figurine. Cute, isn't it? It belonged to Persok. Before he returned to the wheel, he left a splinter of his soul in it. Something to help us find him later. When I left Nasitak, it was completely dark inside. But as I've gotten closer to Persok, it's glowed steadily brighter. Since I've reached the Deerwood, however, it's gotten hard to read. Some days I've heard that one before. Whole reason I'm standing here is because some so-called watcher from Forked told me he could take a look. For a few golden dukes, of course. I was on my way out of the Balmarsh when I heard talk of a traveling mystic who could supposedly see souls. I knew it was a long shot, but what did I have to lose? I went to see this fellow and gave him the Audra figurine. He made a big show of moaning and rolling his eyes, and after I'd given him 5 golden dukes to lift the shroud, he told me to seek the crossroads in the field between the wolf's lair and the twining trees. He thought he was being vague, but I know the area well enough to recognize that he meant this place, right between Defiance Bay and Twin Elms. I had a bad taste in my mouth, but my coin was spent and I'd already left an arrow in his knapsack as a friendly warning. Told him I'd come back and leave him with another if it turned out he was giving me the runaround. I've been here a week now. Guess he had the last laugh after all. Why? You expect me to believe that? After the story I just told you? Fine. But if you try to run, just remember that my arrows are faster. What are you talking about? What just happened? You realize I've got no coin to give you, even if I did believe you. And if this is your idea of a joke, you may be stuck with me for a while. Lead the way. Ready, Watcher.
Yeah?
Hello.
Gods keep you.
Defiance Bay, the city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets. their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Defiance Bay. I miss Adir already.
Good day to you.
The dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. So then there'd be less of them.
My eyes are peeled. Sure.
Brave thou philophily.
Hey.
Yes?
Ready, Watcher.
What?
Following your lead.
I'm here.
Brave Dalphilakili.
Would you look at this? There! Done!
Brave Dalphilakili.
Let's go! Got it. Would you look at this?
You are from Kratom, my dear? A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have encountered outside of our own. Many exceptional people who have joined our cause come from Kratom. What made you decide to join our order? As long as you are assured in your faith, the rest is not so important. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
Back, you clod!
Those hooded fiends are nigh to be trusted!
Raved Alfila Thilim.
Hey.
Following your lead.
Ready, Watcher.
Eh?
Shot with this.
Raved Alfila Thilim.
No problem. Time to see and
Want to run a down-on-its-luck Valiant trading company? If you have more than half a brain, you could really do something with it. As long as you're willing to clean up a few bloodstains. True enough. Verzano's just lucky no one's trying to pay him in steel these days. Sooner or later, his luck will run out.
How do you do?
Hello.
Sure.
Welcome.
Would you look at this?
There's something unnatural.
Raved Alfila Thilim. Roak 10! Raved Alfila.
Look at this.
Brave thou Philod.
That's it!
Oh, I'm tempted.
Done something.
Settle! That's it! Try it!
Yeah?
Brave thou Philod. Roll up.
How may I help? How may I help?
Hey,
What?
Ready, Watcher.
No problem.
Brave thou Philod.
That's it!
Settle!
Would you look at this?
Brave thou Philod.
listen to him anymore.
Roll up.
Yeah?
You leave. Brave Dalfilathili.
Lavaru beyond secret!
Let's try this configuration. Still nothing. Confounded device. Shouldn't be here. What do you want? 15 years at Brackenbury. 7 tours to the ruins beyond Solace Vale. I'm an animancer. Still an animancer. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Forgive me. Forgive me. Research. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from gods. It hardly matters now. Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trindig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides. A trick of shadows, I told him. The next morning, we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight. And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own. On its own! How can we stop what we couldn't start? Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. Nowhere to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar. Clinging to rotting meat. There's no time for jokes! There's no time! This machine, I have to figure it out while I still can. It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfath? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk. By the time I realized what had happened, the district had already been sealed. So we fed when we needed, and locked ourselves in the tower to work. And then there came a time
when the hunger struck, and there was hardly anyone left. Not yet, but I will be. My body is dead. My soul, imprisoned in this corpse, only makes it seem otherwise. And as the body decays, so does the mind. Until nothing is left but the hunger. The only way to forestall the process is through a regular infusion of essence. Living flesh is the only ready supply. I'm not proud of any of it. Hunting men and women in the early days of the affliction. Picking off soldiers that came to investigate. But I'd do it again. I'll do it as long as I must to end this disaster. You could help. Help me end this. Help me find sustenance. I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late. I don't know what he did. But by morning the machine was on and we were slain. People were already on the streets, complaining of neighbors and family members acting strangely. Not your help I need. It's Harridan, shrew. Squanders her research on frivolities, then refuses to make herself useful. Runes. The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Acantha knows them. She gives them to you, and you can turn the machine off. Release our souls. Yes. Acantha. She was here, in the district. Probably here still, always prepared. Clever lady, that one. And perhaps you'll bring me something. Something to keep me sharp. Then I show you a secret about the machine. Something to make you strong.
Look at that.
Lavaru beyond sea! Curses!
It's rude to stare, you know. Don't worry. I've no mind to start anything with you. After all, I've stayed in such good shape by choosing my meals carefully. An incredible act of animancy, of a magnitude this part of the world likely hasn't seen since Engwithan times. Someone found something very powerful and ancient, And I'd bet my own preserved life it wasn't Aldhelm or his lovely assistant. A survivor, by the grace of my own careful preparations. When I heard the claws scrabbling at the door outside, I took care of matters myself. And since then, I've been careful to keep myself fresh and fed. And what would you want with her? That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is. He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning. Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls. Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Engwithans as masters of soul manipulation, but they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment. I read the runes like a journal. I understand their meaning. People like Aldhelm try to read them like instructions, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely. Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished, the real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them like butterflies under glass? To melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know. Back to these tinkers' concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you? So you say. And just what would you release them to? They'd abandon their existence here for another somewhere else, equally aimless and meaningless. So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need. Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish. Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
This won't stop me. This won't stop me for long. There! Done! This won't stop me for long. There! Done!
Always a pleasure to speak with.
Still and silent. It's finally over. Still and silent. It's finally over.
I'll take a look.
How do you do?
Well, well. Is this your last day among the living, Verzano? As if any of this were ever in my hands. The Republics considered your business worth protecting based on its success. That success depended on cooperation with the locals, like House Dominel. You've lost that. And the favor of the Dukes. Even if you get out of this alive, they're done with you. The Dukes have more pressing interest in Defiance Bay than rescuing one merchant who threw himself overboard. Verzano, Verzano. Why are you wasting your precious breath on me? My orders come through the ambassador, and through the ambassador from people you should be honored ever gave a moment's thought to whether you live or die. You don't seem like the sort to petition the gods to keep him out of hell. So why not cry mercy to the one person in this room with the power to grant it? A hard fate, but not unwarranted. Do as you will. He's no longer my concern. Ah, it's done then. You did the right thing. Verzano has no one to blame for this but himself. We gave him more than enough warnings, but he never listened. In any case, the embassy's entanglements with him have been cut, which also means that I'm free from Verzano's net of stupidity. You have my thanks. Whether you intended to or not, you've done the Valian Republics a service today, ridding us of him. I work closely with the embassy to protect our interests, but lately I think our gaze has been too narrow. You clearly have pursuits of your own in the city, but I think we could help each other out. If you're interested in doing some work for us. Officially, I mean. We can go together and I'll introduce you to the ambassador. Good. Maybe I can finally do something more worthwhile than playing nanny to merchants. The embassy is up in First Fires, southwest of the Ducal Palace.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
Keeping an eye out.
The other missionaries say you have been neglectful of your duties. Oh? And what troubles you? You have been an apt student, and your convictions have inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way? The trials of faith can be without mercy, separating us from those we love, leaving no easy answers. You have failed no one. The gods would not ask you to abandon your family. It is your family that has failed you. Yet they do not allow you the same. They would have you trade your deepest beliefs for their affections. If you allow this, you will gain their acceptance, but lose their respect. Hold firm to your convictions. Continue your work. Believe in the power of the gods to reach all people. Your family will find them on their own. As long as you worship the gods, you will never be without family. You needn't choose between the two.
Gods keep you.
How do you do?
the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aethys look like a child's cantrip, surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who took over Caed Noir. Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me. Since then, as I understand it, you entered a quarantine district that is absolutely off limits to all civilians and somehow managed to walk back out with your life. What could possibly have been on your mind to make you do such a thing? Strange does not begin to describe them. The practices of the Leaden Key defy all reason. You're not the only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in all of this. I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the Leaden Key? The gods are cruel, I'm afraid. The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key. Because you have seen his face, and that makes it a simple matter for me to see it. You even happened to catch him in his ceremonial garb, it seems. Must have been a special occasion. More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true. The Leaden Key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it. What scraps of evidence exist suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man. Awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge and experience of all his lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take hundreds of years to bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order of things. But he is said to be one of Woodica's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism. That may also explain another supposed gift of his. His body is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others, if their souls are weak enough. Often it is for elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply of pity. He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And the same way I come by all my knowledge. Exhaustive research, spying, bribery, perhaps some less savory measures. Whatever the knowledge demands, I pay in full. There is nothing of greater value. Unfortunately, with Theos, there is also nothing more scarce. He has covered his tracks far too well. His manipulations of the course of history are lost to time now, though I believe they were many. Precious little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than a handful of other members. They are kept in the dark of missions they are not involved in, or sometimes of those they are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know, if you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal. Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary,
and he does not fail. Keep me informed. The Leaden Key has been busy lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones they've crawled beneath. Keep turning them. Dunreed Row will not stop you. Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your case, it will surely point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can. Then you would look foolish because it is a standing offer. There is no need to refuse. If you find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you. Well, let's hear it. This is troubling. That civilization seems to have known more about the mechanics of souls than anyone since. The Leaden Key was born in that period. It may be that Theos has full knowledge of their technology. The applications of this machine you speak of, I don't want to think about it. If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this. Yes? All the things there are to know in this world, and you ask me about work. Deerwood is a rebel country. Conflict is in its blood. If you think a few guards posted in our cities keep chaos at bay, you are very new to town indeed. We are Deerwood's cipher investigators, of course. But what we really are is its last barrier against anarchy. People are more at ease when they believe they are watched over by someone more enlightened than they are. It pacifies them. So that is the image we foster. And we do try to be enlightened for their sake. The knowledge we gather here is Deerwood's standing army in many ways. We learn what's vital and we act on it while Deerwood sleeps, blissfully unaware of the terrifying truths all around them. I wish I could tell people the things I know sometimes, but the truth is I don't think many of them could bear it. Me? I started this place, in a different time, under a different duke. I impressed the duke with my research and my work ethic, and he became possessed of the notion that I would be ideal to lead a secret network of gifted investigators. I don't know how such an idea got into his head. I lost count ages ago. Such a strange thing to celebrate, getting closer to death. Oh, I've had my share of work done to prolong my existence, if that's what you're wondering. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not done here. There are things I still wish to learn. And I'll be the effigy if I let Bereth carry me off before I'm through. There was a time when I considered enlisting the theorems of Pondgrum to extend my life indefinitely. I found the thought of devouring my political enemies to sustain my own life greatly appealing. I must have gone soft with age. If you are hoping I can look at your hand and tell you whom you should marry, you can just wipe that notion from your mind. I do not know what will happen tomorrow. That is what I pay spies for. Being a cipher is not unlike being a watcher. You notice more about what is already there. Many can hold an object and know where it's been, or peer into the thoughts of people around them. They can also sometimes affect those thoughts, but that would be unethical, of course. A tiny, talented few pick up so much about the world around them, they can get images of things to come. but these are fleeting and unreliable. Who said I was talented? I don't. Least not that I can trust. And with me, it's only ever about one thing anyway. A quiet day at home. There was. He believed in dying with dignity. He was old-fashioned that way, my husband. We saw the world very differently, he and I. But he was good to me while he lasted. Try your best not to die out there.